Merseyside.
Good afternoon. Liverpool's full of entrepreneurs, and we'll hear from three of them in this week's programme. First, David Laitak, who now runs Northwest Landscapes, a firm which he and his father set up 30 years ago, although they really had no experience of gardening at all at that time. David's grandfather was a Chinese seaman who worked for the Blue Funnel Line, and his father worked in the docks, so no surprise as to the area of Liverpool David was brought up in.
I was born and bred in Chinatown, just at the back there in Kent Gardens.
And a good upbringing, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good, yeah. I mean, we didn't have much, but everyone was pretty much the same down there. But no, it was good. It was good. It was pretty much concrete everywhere, you know, bar the odd bits of grass, which were really overgrown and stuff like that, you know.
And schooling?
Harry Board I went to, and that was getting closed down. So the education really suffered, especially mine as well. So from there, we were supposed to go to Shorefields, but my brother kind of didn't want me to go there because he went there. And he said he had to really fight for his education there as well, so I ended up going to Quarry Bank.
Did you have to do any kind of an exam to do that, or do you just applied and managed to get into Quarry Bank?
He managed to squeeze us in, because we were just inside the catchment area, so that was going back some years, you know.
Yeah, it's changed since then.
Oh, not half, yeah.
Was Quarry Bank on the site where the Tesco's
It is
there?
indeed, yeah. Yeah, it is. And I remember my first history lesson, and just to give you an insight into the level of education, teacher asked us to date the right-hand top of the page and draw a margin down the left, and I didn't know what a margin was. That's how sort of poor the education was back then, you know.
But Quarry Bank restored that. They gave you good education.
Yeah, they did, yeah. I really settled in. I loved it, to be honest. It was a great school.
Did you have any particular kind of bits that you like English, or did you like, you know, maths or what?
Art and history, that was my kind of thing, you know, especially history. Still a big lover of history today, you know.
And so did you take a lot of BO levels in those days, yeah?
No, we did nothing. Well, I could have stayed on, but I left the last year, so I left with nothing, if you like.
At what age?
I must have been about, say, 15, 16, because I had a job, one of my dad's companies he'd set up. So I had a job to go straight into, and I thought that's the future for me, so I kind of worked at an early age.
Now, your dad's quite interesting, isn't he? Because he used to work on the docks, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Yeah, he worked on the docks for some time
Cyril,
with his brothers. Yeah, that's right, Cyril. And redundancies loomed. He took early redundancy, and then he kind of looked at doing different various types of businesses and stuff, and one he set up was a waste business in Liverpool at the time of the council strikes and stuff like that. He started going around with his little escort van, knocking on doors. I think his first job was British Home Stores, 50 pence a week it was. He was obviously taking more rubbish than he could obviously handle at that time, but he built it up. I mean, he was
a real entrepreneur.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I mean, we built it up. Me, my dad, my brothers, sisters, so on and so forth. And we were one of the first to put the plastic wheelie bin into Liverpool, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the purple one that we see everywhere.
Well, yeah, that's a 360 litre bin, and the 660 litre, the 1100 litre, we started putting them into Liverpool, because obviously people were still on bin bags, and the old Paladin bin, which was the round one.
Did you have a contract with the city council to do that, or you were doing that with the private companies that you were dealing with?
It was just all the shops we were doing. We didn't really do anything for the council, but we did all the shops like Top Shop and British Home Stores. We did fast food chains like obviously McDonald's and Wimpy, and we did a lot of office blocks like Silk House, Ty Barn House, all them office blocks we did.
And he got these jobs more or less by going around and knocking on the door?
There was an element of that, yeah, obviously, you know, just by being a little bit hard-faced and a bit cheeky and being a Scouser.
And the whole family was involved?
Most of us, yeah, we were all involved at some point, you know.
You obviously have got an entrepreneurial spirit yourself with the way you're running the company you've got now.
Yeah.
That is from him, I take it. I mean,
Yeah, he gave us the tools. I would say definitely gave us the tools, but I would encourage anyone to go and do it themselves, you know. There's work to be had out there. If you're determined, you can do it, you know, you can pull it off.
Now, the business you got into isn't to do with history, but it's landscaping.
It is, yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, after the waste game, me and my dad kind of left that, and my other brother, he kind of took that over. So we left that, and my dad was kind of scratching around for things to do. We didn't have much money again, because obviously that business had been inherited by him, and we were looking for things to do. And he started cutting grass. He got a mower out of his auntie's, well, my auntie's catalogue, a little electric mower. He said he'd pay her back on the drip, and he just started door knocking, putting adverts in. And I'll never forget it. We used to laugh because we'd stick an electric extension cable outside the letterbox with a bag on it in case the rain got at it, and we'd come round and plug in. Away we'd go, we'd cut the grass.
And you'd literally be doing this for just anybody who you'd knock on the doors again and say, do you need your garden?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, people would call us from, all different sort of walks of life and stuff, and we kind of built it up from there on in, really. I kind of honed my skills on grass cutting, if you like, strimming and hedge trimming. And me and my dad, we had a great laugh doing it, because it was an experience, and you met some characters on that one, It was a good laugh. One job we did in particularly, I remember my dad, we didn't have much of an idea on how it all worked, all this landscaping and stuff, and he actually got a line out, and he put the line on the top of the hedge, almost like a plumb line, to get it dead straight. And we did it, and it looked really good after he did it. And then some years later, we got called back to the job, and a neighbour came out and said, hey, there was some fella here a couple of years ago, and he actually put a line out. What a bloody idiot he was, And we kind of laughed, and my dad said, that was me. That was me who did that.
But you built this business up without having... nobody's taught you?
No. Self-taught. Everything I've learnt it with my own hands, my own brain, and books I've read about plants and stuff. I found I had a little passion for plants. And
I was going to say, you can't do a job like this without actually wanting to do it.
Yeah, you've got to love it. You're outdoors, you're in the elements. You've got to know certain things, what works and what doesn't work, and that.
So it's a long way from mowing grass and cutting edges to landscaping, because there's an artistic thing behind landscaping, isn't there? Yeah, there is, yeah. I mean, you can kind of learn the basics of it. I mean, once you've got the basics, you're away then, because there's a format of plants, and you'll find with different plants will go with other plants and stuff like that, and you can just kind of spread it that way. So you do kind of learn it as you go. It's not something you can just kind of adapt and get overnight. It takes years of experience to use. And do you do small gardens, or do you do big gardens, or what do you do? Well, it's all the big stuff now we do. We work for Liverpool Cathedral, and we do a lot for City Central Bid as well. Yeah, Liverpool Cathedral, I was doing a few concerts there in recent weeks, and they've got this enormous wreath. Now, that's yours. It is, yeah, it is mine. It's on the east door. It's a fantastic wreath underneath the statue. That's it. It's quite a photo opportunity now for a lot of tourists, even myself as well. I've never seen a wreath as big as that. Did you put that together yourselves? Yeah, we had to have that specially made. It's made on a stainless steel ring, so it doesn't sag, just because of the size. It's enormous. It is, yeah. Enormous. Yeah, it looks good though, doesn't it? It looks fantastic. I'd love one on my door, but my door's not big enough. Probably not strong enough to take the weight to it. It's fantastic. Yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah, we're happy with that. It's nice to be accredited with the cathedral as well, because they do some fantastic work up there. I think it's a brilliant cathedral. It's very much part of our city, and it's not surprised where they're using a local firm to do their what? Do you do flowers in there, or is it just the landscaping outside, or what? We do a lot of grass, and we do a lot of tree work, and we do floral displays for them. As you walk up to the cathedral, there's a bed just on your right. We stripe that for them, and we change over seasonal displays in it. We put hanging baskets up for the graduation, and we supply them Christmas trees, etc., etc. But we do a lot of grounds maintenance for the cathedral now. You can't be doing this from your home. You must have a bit of a bigger place now. Yeah, we do, yeah. We've got a depot, or a unit, if you like, on Parliament Street. It's a little business park there, and it's a brilliant location for us. And it's not far away from everywhere. It's just in L8. And how did you get a job like the cathedral? I mean, did you knock on the door? Well, the big doors to knock on, aren't they? Whether you get an answer, I don't know. No, I was called out the blue, to be honest. I think they must have seen the website and just got us from that and thought, aye, this looks interesting. He's a bit switched on. Let's have a little go at this. So they asked us to come down, and I think there was me and 4 or 5 other companies. We all quoted for it.
And I think I must have stuck out. I must have ticked the box somewhere. And that's how we started. We started striping areas down there and just really changing the whole feel and look of the place, making it look a lot better, making it look cared for, which is, I think, is important in Liverpool.
It's the most important impression when you come to anywhere, that you walk up to the cathedral, if it looks messy, the cathedral, same is true of the city centre.
Yeah, of course.
And you've you've won the contract to do the city centre, or the city central.
Yeah, that came through City Central bid, a chap there called Jed Gibbons. That was about 3 years ago. He first approached us, and it took forever to sort out, to just get, the initial fix of hanging baskets up, if you like, on Bowl Street.
Is this because the council used to do it and that had to be sorted out first?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of internal stuff that needed to be done, but
even when that was done, when you got the contract,
yeah.
How do you mean there were no hanging baskets? You mean so you had to put them up?
There was brackets there. There was obviously baskets in Bowl Street at some point, but no one seems to know where they are or what's happened to them. And I know from experience that whoever's doing it for the council, he can't seem to do it right because of the intense watering and feeding of the plants and stuff like that, because it's really intense in the summer months. You can be on it every other day if you like. That's the kind of intensity of it.
So do you employ somebody specifically for that?
Yeah,
job?
since having took stuff on with the bid, we started with the initial 22 lampposts, which is 44 baskets if you like, just in the lower end of Bowl Street. And then we started doing stuff round by the Royal Court, Williamson Square, and also Elliott Street as well, just by the Wetherspoons, stuff like that. And we were approached by a local sort of Highton Church, as it was, to take on an apprenticeship. He was obviously subsidised, and I subsidised him to get him through his GCSEs and stuff like that, some of his training. So we did take someone on for that specifically, a young lad from Highton, with virtually similar education to mine, really, none, if you like, but we've brought him through and we mentor him, and he's turned out a cracking little kid, and he's key part to us now. He's a cracking little kid.